Hey everybody, alright, I've got my, what the hell is this guitar? This is my Ibanez EJ13. Slim body, totally cool slim body, acoustical electric. And what I did is I had Diodero 11 strings on here. People told me, the guitar guy, guitar shop guy, he said go to 12s because I'm using girly man strings. I put 12s on there. They sounded really deep and crappy and had no tone to them. Very ugly sound. They didn't hurt my fingers. I was really surprised. They didn't hurt my fingers like I thought. Earlier, when I started playing, they would have hurt a lot, but the 12s were okay, except the sound was crap. So I went and I put on 11s, 11 Dioderos, and they were okay. I liked them. And then I started listening to the sound between my 3/4 size Martin and this Ibanez, and the 3/4 size Martin sounded better than the Ibanez. So what I just did is I put on Diodero 10 strings. So I bought a 3-pack a while ago, and I used to have 10s on here. I first started out with 9 slinky so I could learn how to play without killing my fingers. Then I went to 10s, then I went to 11s. I tried 12s, hated 12s, went back to 11s, went to 10s, went to 11s. So I've had 11s on for probably 6 months, and I like them. It's a lot easier to hit the bar chords. At least it was when I put them on. I found the bar chords were easier to get my fingers on the strings. They found the strings a lot better, and the sound was a lot better. It was a lot stronger, a lot bolder. It just sounded good. It was easier to finger pick because my nails had something to grab onto. But I've noticed the last week I just didn't like the sound of it. I don't know if the strings were old or what. So I just put on the 10s, the Diodero 10s, and I'm going to play it for the first time. I haven't played it at all. I just put them on. So you're going to get my reaction as I play the thing. I'm going to do that Hallelujah song, and I'll know right off if this sounds good or not. All right, the strings are... I'm definitely not pressing hard on the strings. All right, let's try this and see what happens. 2 years self-taught by YouTube. Alright, just my initial reaction. It's a lot tinnier sounding, if that's the right word. It sounds very tinny. It doesn't sound as rich and deep. And I don't know, maybe that's the strings are new. Okay, let's see. The 6 string, 5, 4. Not as deep, definitely not as deep as the sound I got from the 11s, of course. Okay, 3. 3, 2, 1. I don't know if it's just a brighter sound. No, that's a little ringing. I don't know if that's a brighter sound or, well, it sounds a little tinny, but it does sound, I don't know if I like it or not. All right, I'm hearing a little bit of, I don't know what that is. Definitely a higher pitch sound, no doubt about it. Okay, maybe my G is ringing because I don't usually press the G string too well. Let me try it with a pick, because I know when I use my nail it sounds a lot different. No doubt, it is a much higher pitched tinny sound with the 10s compared to the 11s. I don't know if that's a bad thing yet. That's why I didn't like the 11s. It was a very full, rich sound, but it was just dull. It was boring, dull, and then it also had an annoying tingy sound to it, which could have been the nail, because when I do the nail, oh wow, you can hear that, the tinny sound compared to the pick. So I'm trying to play this while you're listening to this boring video and decide what I think. Nope. I think this was the right way. It's the G. All right, no doubt about it, as I've said a zillion times, it's a much tinnier, high-pitched sound. Let me try a couple bar chords here. Yeah, sometimes I'm really good on bar chords, and other times during the day I'm not. Bar chords are much tinnier, no doubt. Well, maybe it's the nail again. Let me go with the pick. All right, there's no doubt it is not as deep sounding. It's not as full sounding. It's not as deep as the number 11 strings, and I don't know if it's easier to play or not. I usually don't press hard enough on the strings as it is. I know that. In the last couple weeks, my fingers have been killing me from playing too much and pressing too hard. There is no doubt the 10s take a lot less force on the fingers to play. I don't know if the sound is better. This is a tough call. I like that. I like the higher sounds on the 10 much better than I like. I miss the rich sounds of the 11, the deep sounds of the 11, but I like the higher sounds of the 10. I don't know if that's because of my hearing, and I don't see. That sounds beautiful. That's really nice. I'm playing the D. That is so cool. Where I know on the 11s, I didn't get, that wasn't ringing out really clear. So those three, that makes a nice, that's a good difference. You do the E minor. It's an E minor, but it's not as rich. But it's a lot easier on the fingers also. Let me try one more thing. End this video in a minute. What is that song? Stand By Me. All right, I can tell you right off just by doing that, because I've been messing around with bar chords and those four chords for a while. This is so much easier to play with the 10 strings than the 11s. So much easier on my fingers. When I first started off and I went from the 10s to the 11s, I thought it was a lot easier because my fingers had something to grab onto and to press. But now I can tell you, huge difference. In the last 6 months of using 11 strings, these bar chords, I'm doing the A, the B, not pressing that well because my hand is really sore. It's a tough call. I am going to keep the 10s. I'm going to keep the 10s for maybe a couple weeks, maybe a few months, or maybe forever. And I'm going to see how I do with it. All I know is that when I use the 11s, yeah, I was playing with Girly Man strings. I don't have the finger strength on this acoustic. And after 2 years, I'm obviously not going to get the finger strength. And I don't want to get carpal tunnel or screw up my wrist or have sore forearms like I have all the time from playing. So maybe the 11s are causing me much too much physical stress and damage, and maybe the trade-off of the rich sound for the tinnier sound, which I might like, is worth it. So, opinion, what I would do if you're a beginner, I would try the 10s. If you're an initial beginner, if you're just starting off and you're on an acoustic, go with 9s. It's the only way. I struggled playing with 11s and 12s. I couldn't do it. I couldn't even play. I gave up the guitar once, and I put 9s on there. I put the super slinkies on this my acoustic, and that's the only way that I was able to play. That's how I learned, is because I got rid of the pain and I focused on learning instead of struggling. So if you're a beginner, start off with the 9s. Much better to learn on. After that, I don't like the 12s. I don't know why people like the 12s. I put on the 12s, they hurt, and like I said, it was muffled. It just sounded like crap. Yeah, it was deep, it was rich, but then I started missing all the high-pitched, I couldn't hear this kind of stuff. Maybe the strings aren't that much different, but I just couldn't hear the high-pitched notes really well. So I wanted to do the 12s. I was able to play with the 12s, but I didn't like the sound. After I played it a while, I went, this really sucks. What's the point of putting it on? It's all muffled. So my advice is go between a pair of 10s, a set of 10s and a set of 11s, and really give it some time. Try the 10s, put on 10s, play them for a while, get used to them, get used to the feel, the pressure on your fingers, the sound of it, and then go to 11s, and it's a huge difference, but I enjoyed it. And then after a while, I went, nah, maybe I don't like this. So I'm back on the 10s again. I'm going to play it for a while, and not sure if I'm going to stick with it or if I'm going to go back to 11s. That is a hard call, and it's probably a personal call for you also, but that's my advice. Hopefully it helped. If you hate the video, hey, sorry.